Good day, everyone. I'm going to review with you a lesson that I had, mean absolute deviation, and let's have some mathematical reasoning behind that. But before that, I have this game here. What is your favorite outdoor game? You're gonna put your answer in the chat box, and Nightbot will pick a winner for 50 gig. Alright, so 50 Gcash po to kung sinong mapipili ni Nightbot na mag-unang magsagot ng favorite outdoor games. Isagot na lang po sa chat box. Okay, Nightbot will pick you and then I will send you your Gcash. Alright. So our goal for today is to find the mean absolute deviation of a given set of data by using the measures of center. So what is a MAD or mean absolute deviation? It is the mean absolute deviation of a set of data. It's the average distance between each data value and the mean or at the average. So there are steps to do this. Step 1 is calculate the mean or the regular average. Okay, calculate how far each data point is from the mean using the positive distances. These are called the absolute deviation. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna subtract the mean to the value of each data, and those becomes your deviation, and then we're gonna add them together. Divide the sum by the number of data points. So if there are 8 data that you have subtracted from the mean, then you divide it by 8. Then this will become the formula. So we're gonna make an example to see what I'm talking about. So problem set 1. So let's say I have this set of data over here, the maximum speeds of roller coaster. So 58, 88, and so on to 48. And we arrange them from lowest to the highest. Actually, you don't need to arrange the numbers lowest to the highest, but it can help you become more organized with your answers. Okay? So let's look at what's the next step. So here we're gonna calculate the average of find the absolute value of difference between the mean and the set of data. So if you go back here, we find we're gonna find the mean first of this set of data, and the mean is 64. So we added all this up and we divided by 8 to get 64. Remember, 64 is our mean, and then we're gonna use that mean to subtract between the sets of data. So here we get 80, 64. So give me a second, let's write down our mean. So remember in the previous slide, we got the mean as 64, correct? So now 64 minus 40 is 24. 64 minus 48 is 16. 64 minus 58 is 6, and so on and so forth. So we're able to subtract the absolute value. So absolute value means, like for example, 64 minus 66, that's supposed to be -2, right? But we're looking for the absolute value of the difference. So find the absolute value minus the absolute value of mean minus the value of each item. So if you're gonna have 64 minus 66, that should be -2, but we find the absolute value of that so that we are still on a positive side. So it's +2. Okay. So even here, we're gonna have 64 minus 74. It's supposed to be negative variance, but it becomes an absolute value. So we got 8. And the next step we have to that, now we have the difference from every item in the set. So to find MAD, we're gonna add again all this data that we have subtracted, and then that becomes 100, and then we divide it again by 8, so that becomes 12.5. It means that the average distance each data value from the mean is 12.5 miles per hour. Okay, that's what it uses for it. Let's use this table to solve for the mean absolute deviation, or the MEAD. So we have a data set 3, 1, 5, 4, 8, 6. You may arrange them in order, you may not, but I always like to be organized. So I'm gonna arrange them in order. 1, and then we got 3, and then we got 4, right? Then 5, 6, and then 8. The next step we have to do is to find the mean. The mean is the average, remember? So let's find the mean between 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. So we're gonna add all this data, because in order for us to get the mean, we have to add this up. So 1, 3, 4, and 4 is 8, plus 5 plus 6 plus 8, that gives us 27. And then we divide this by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 27 divided by 6 gives us 4.5. So we're gonna write 4.5 here, okay, all the way down. So at this point, we're gonna find the difference between the data and the mean. This time I'm not gonna do the absolute value right away, because I want to show you that what is the actual difference between them, right? So let's try to do it now. So if you really want to subtract 1 and 4.5, that's gonna be negative 3.5, right? Because we didn't get the absolute value yet. And this is gonna be negative 1.5. Well, this is positive. That's gonna be 0.5. If you notice 4, and the difference between the two is 0.5, and it's also the same with this one. It's amazing, right? It's backwards, but they have the same difference. And we find the difference of the two. So now we find the difference between the data and the mean, and the difference are here. So, okay, so now we find the absolute value of each of the items. So it means we're gonna make this all positive. So that's gonna be 3.5, because the absolute of negative 3.5 is positive 3.5, as well as the negative 1.5 becomes positive 1.5. Okay, and the rest of them is positive. You know, the absolute value is a distance away from 0. So any value that you have as a distance will always be positive. There will be no negative distance. Even though you're gonna say it's 6 feet below the ground, it is still 6 feet. Okay, so how far is it from the ground? So we say 6 feet. So we're gonna add it all up. So 3.5, 1.5, 0.5, 1.5, and 3.5. So we're gonna have 11. So at this time, we're gonna find the mean absolute deviation by dividing the sum by the number of items. And so far, our number of items are 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, is 6. So 11 divided by 6. So we're gonna have 11. We divide it by 6. And that gives us 1.83, and it continues. So 1.83. But if you are 6th grade, you're gonna round off usually to find the answer to the nearest tens. If you're a different grade level, they ask you to up to hundreds place, okay? But let's just do it to the 10th place. So that's 1.8, because 3 is not enough to make this 9. So what does 1.8 mean? So 1.8 now is the distance between the mean to the other set of the data. All right, so this is how we find the mean absolute deviation of the set of data, or what we call MEAD. So I hope you learned something from today's lesson. Again, I have this game that you could answer, okay? If the nightbot haven't gotten anybody yet as a winner, I'd just like to go back to the question. What's your favorite outdoor games? I was focusing on when we were younger. like when we are at this age of these kids. Na ano yung mga games natin sa Pilipinas na we really like to play? Nightbot will give you, and it's Tagalog, so you could write your answer in Filipino. Alright guys, thank you for participating, especially for those who are in the Philippines. Stay safe. The virus is still out there, so please observe social distancing. Be safe always. Be safe. Love you guys. Thank you, and until next time. Bye bye.